Very much for that. Okay, so as you're still on the lines, maybe for Gingerbread Man, or you're on QVC.com, can I just mention quickly too, we're almost done, almost out of the Purity Trio, those two big mega sizes and the smaller size. If you don't know what I'm talking about, click items recently on air. We're in the home stretch with just a few dozen remaining of the Purity Made Simple. So that being said, if you're in the mood for great values, and that's what got you tuning in today, the value comparison on this mega size, I love that we just went there and called it mega size, right? Because that's what it is. Of the Hope in a Jar Day and Hope in a Jar Night. Certainly I've hosted my share of philosophy shows, and I've never seen, I'm not over exaggerating, I've never seen a value when compared to if sold separately better than this. You see it right there on your screen. This is not a concocted number. If sold separately, these two mega sized jars of the Hope in a Jar Day and Night would cost over $300. It's a lot. You are getting it for not half, but really less than a third of that price. And then, Merry Christmas, 6 easy payments of $16.66. It's A283769, 8 ounces each of the AM and PM. Marilyn, this has to be you coming in with the big bag full of toys and playing Santa Claus, because this value, what?
I'm so glad to do this because this allows me the opportunity to really talk about the history of philosophy.
Right.
This is where it all began. And this is where it continues, because these are two products that we just recommend no matter what your skin type is or your stage of life.
Can I show this, though?
The babies.
This is what is called the original size of the Hope in a Jar Day and Night. Look at the little babies. These are the 2 ounces, and what we're giving you is 4 times that. And these guys are $39 and $49 respectively. And you would obviously have to multiply them many times over to fit into these jars. So to give you a concept of this, it's at minimum 8-month supply. It is shockingly available on auto delivery. And usually we only present this. Yeah, I know. Usually we only present this like once a year.
Yes.
And we're bringing it back right before the cutoff of holiday shipping so that you can get it in time for Christmas if you're gifting. But I really hope you're treating yourself on this one. So help explain. I know Hope in a Jar was launched to stardom.
It was.
Right.
Right. Even before philosophy, it is our history. And, you know, we were born in the medical marketplace, and we continue to promise you that we're going to bring you ingredients and formulations that feel good, that smell good, and that deliver results that you can expect. Hope in a Jar was a product that was given to patients prior to a procedure to help prepare their skin, and also after, to keep the skin protected and hydrated. We know at Philosophy, if you want smooth, soft, radiant, glowing, healthy skin, you have to have more than just moisture. So when we came out with our Hope in a Jar products, we did that in a way that we introduced products that were more than just moisturizing, and it revolutionized the skincare industry and set standards. We gave you a moisturizer that was like a lightweight whipped souffle, that when you applied it to the skin, it felt like a drink of water to your skin, not a cup of oil. But not only did it hydrate, but it also gently exfoliated, keeping the skin clear and keeping it soft and smooth and radiant. That's what makes Philosophy moisturizers different.
Well, I mean, take a look at this. Sometimes you see studies impressive with 90, 93, 95%. Take a look at this.
Look at this. In a clinical study, so this is not Jen and I talking about what we think about the product. This is under the eye of a medical professional using instruments to measure the results. And after only 2 weeks, every single participant showed an improvement in the tactile smoothness of their skin. That's where all the imperfections hide. That's when you touch your skin. If it doesn't feel soft and smooth to touch, or if you're trying to cover up those imperfections with more and more makeup and it starts to look flaky, you need something like Hope in a Jar to help not just retexturize the skin, but also keep it hydrated at the same time.
And it wasn't immediately that Hope in a Jar Night was introduced. Like, this was not introduced.
No, it was almost 18 years later.
Wow.
It did. It took us a while. We rested on our laurels for 15 years with just Hope in a Jar before we came out with even another moisturizer, really.
You're not just going to slap that name onto a black jar and call it Hope in a Jar Night.
Not at all. And you know what? We didn't have a name for this jar until we
until we
saw
like
the results.
Formula
They were
1,
so
2, 8,
good.
9, 3. Yeah.
But Hope in a Jar Night does something different than the day cream in a way that it gives you more moisture. You can see the texture of it is
Cushiony.
more dense. It's more cushiony. It feels a little bit more velvety when you put it on the skin. That's intentional because when your skin is working at night to repair itself, it loses some water. So we need that extra moisture. But it also needs a different form of exfoliation. So this duo not just gives you the amount of hydration that you need for AM and PM, but also the appropriate level of exfoliation.
I'm thinking about, I know that I mentioned if sold separately, this is $317. And by the way, there are fewer than 1,200 of these remaining. This is not something in which we have tons and tons.
Oh, wow.
But I'm thinking about, yes, we have it on 6 easy monthly payments, but it's an 8-month supply. So if you do the math that way, can you believe that you are picking up your day and night skincare routine for like $12 a month?
Oh, wow. And it will last you.
800 remaining now. Sorry,
wow.
I spoke too soon.
That was fast.
Just like that. Yeah, just like that. And almost everybody, by the way, is doing auto delivery because you're smart. You probably know this already. When you elect auto delivery, you lock in the price, which is great, but you lock in easy pay if it's available. So when it ships again in 8 months' time, it ships again at $16.66. And that's just 2 times over. And again, I don't think we're planning on presenting this again until like middle of next year.
No,
right?
no, it will happen one time a year after this. So this is it for this year.
This is
and
it.
It's not due for a while.
There you go.
But if you thought that a moisturizer couldn't change your skin, you haven't tried Hope in a Jar. Because typical moisturizers out there, they might give you some firming and some antioxidant protection. You're getting that from Hope in a Jar, but most will not give you the retexturizing and the hydration that your skin needs. I haven't even mentioned if you're dry, oily, changing, aging, thinning, sensitive, because all of us fit under the umbrella of being able to use Hope in a Jar. If you thought a moisturizer couldn't change your skin, this is the one that can do it. It's so easy. The skin that you have today, if you use Hope in a Jar, you'll start seeing results very quickly. That one clinical study was just for the daytime, and everyone saw results.
Right.
But take a look at this one. After just 2 weeks of using the night moisturizer, 90% of the participants showed an improvement in the appearance of fine lines. 2 weeks.
Now let's
14
stack
days.
both of them together, right? Day and night. We have fewer now than 600 of these remaining, kind of in the home stretch. 6 easy payments of $16.66. Over 4 million jars of Hope in a Jar have sold here at QVC. That's crazy. The bulk of them are this smaller size that I'm showing you, that original size. This doesn't even qualify for super size because it's bigger than that. It's the mega size. And you're getting it an 8-month supply on 6 easy monthly payments, what should be $300 plus.
I just love to see Anne when she puts this on because she's the poster child for Hope in a Jar.
Right.
She's doesn't have a
philosophy skin.
stitch of makeup on, and she has that beautiful, radiant philosophy glow. When you use Hope in a Jar, and we'll just talk about the day cream for a minute. This one is loaded with the ester of lactic acid that's going to hydrate, but also gently exfoliate and keep that skin soft. But there's a very powerful antioxidant called beta-glucan in it also. And I encourage you to Google it because there are some amazing results in research today in the health and wellness area where beta-glucan is making some amazing changes in people's lives. This is a product that will change your skin and it feels good. Skin looks better. If you have a problem with clarity of your skin, if it doesn't feel soft and smooth and it doesn't stay hydrated through the day, this duo gives you the right amount of hydration and exfoliation for daytime and also for nighttime.
There are fewer than 200 now remaining. If I'm speaking to daughters out there who don't know yet what to get their moms or sisters, I can't even imagine. You hand this to them and they're going to think, why did you spend all that money? Because they're going to think you spend hundreds of dollars, right? Especially when you explain to them the history of this and what it does. Or maybe it's been on their wish list for a while. Less than $100 for 8 months worth of skincare.
Yeah,
do you remember what I
least.
was saying earlier when I said, guys, don't fall victim to that trap of thinking that it has to be exorbitant in order for it to work. I don't doubt that they work. but I know that the affordable ones work too.
Yep.
And the only way for you to know is to give it a try. But if you try it in the smaller size and you fall in love, what happens? Maybe you start to ration and not use as much as maybe you could be using, or you're spending $39 and $49 over and over again. How great would it be to fall in love with something and go, and I've got 8 months worth of this to go. We are officially at last call. Fewer than 100 now remain. That means about as many of you that are racing to your computers, your phones, or the phone lines will lock in a $16 and change easy pay for the 8-ounce Hope in a Jar day and the 8-ounce Hope in a Jar night. Try it until the end of January. And if you don't love it, you can send it back. But it won't be here until the end of January. I suspect it won't be here to the end of my sentence.
The end of my sentence.
Oh no, we have another last call.